Hello, it's Jane here. I'm back in the kitchen and it's March. Woohoo! It's that month that all us gardeners have been hanging on for, because we've got this part of us that says, don't do anything too early, don't do anything, don't sow your seeds, don't do this, don't do that, don't do the other until March, otherwise you'll regret it later on in the season. But now it's March, it's a bit of a free-for-all. We can start planting, we can start sowing our seeds, we can start doing all those things we've dreamed of doing in the winter. Saying that, it's blooming freezing. I was going to do this video outside in the garden and set up on a nice table and have a cup of coffee out there and have a nice chat and maybe look at a few bulbs and all that. It's blooming freezing. I've just taken Rocky for a lovely, lovely long stroll, and usually by the time I'm halfway through I've warmed up, you know, and I'm not feeling the cold. I got back in the house, I put my big winter woolly back on because it's so cold out there at the moment. I know this is just in my part of the UK. I know over in the States you're still having very cold temperatures, and I think quite a lot of you are still covered in snow. But yeah, we had such a lovely spring-like weekend, and we were up at the plot doing all sorts of stuff, and down to t-shirts. It was that warm. And so when this happens, it's all of a sudden, it's a shock again. But it does remind us that just because the weather warms up a little bit, be very aware of the dates, because we've still got really cold nights, and you don't want to be doing stuff too soon and regret it and have to sow again later in the season. Saying that, that's probably taken up half of this video's time, because I have promised myself I will not do more than 10 minutes today. It's just like a little midweek quickie. And I've got the clock over there, and I've even written a list. I've even written a list to keep me on track, but it's gone out the window already. What I want to talk about: so many of us at the moment have sorted all our vegetable seeds and are starting to sow our vegetable seeds and put stuff in. So many of you are doing that. I thought I'd do something slightly different, as ever. So I'm going to be talking a little bit just about the flowers I'm going to be sowing, why I'm going to be sowing them. Are you sowing any? Why are you sowing them? And just have a little look around and see what I've got. So this is because, look at this. I've got this seed box here, absolutely full. I've got this seed box here full, and I've got 2 seed boxes up in the allotment shed, fairly full. So I've been having a really good sort out. And as I say, you tend to do it with your vegetables in midwinter when you're doing all your planning. And I've got my vegetable seed list and everything all done up, but I didn't do anything with my flowers. So I've been rooting through those. And the first thing I would say, you don't have to have a huge half-acre, quarter-acre of land or whatever to grow flowers. You don't have to just grow flowers to have something pretty to look at or pretty to cut. I know a lot of people, it's become very, very popular recently to have like a cut flower garden, which is lovely. But if you can get flowers that will provide you with something else as well, even better. Because I know a lot of allotment sites over here in the UK, they will only, I've heard of some that won't allow flowers at all. Doesn't bode well for companion planting, but I know a lot of them you're only supposed to grow a certain percentage of your land can be sort of given over to flowers. We're quite lucky we can do what we like there so far, fingers crossed. But yeah, I grew a lot of new to me flowers last year up at the plot, because my daughter was supposed to be getting married in August. Well, as you can imagine, that didn't happen, but never mind, I ended up with jugs full of flowers in the house, all over the place, wherever you looked, and I was able to, you know, hand them out, give them to friends, all this sort of thing, so that was nice. But yeah, you know, it didn't come to anything. However, this year, she's going to be getting married again. Not getting married again, but she'll be getting married like she was supposed to last year. And this time it's in July. So that has given me a target, if you like, an incentive to make sure I've got the sort of flowers that we're going to be able to pick, just to put in like little milk bottles, to have as a sort of very loose random bouquet. It's not going to be anything formal at all, but it's really made me take stock of what I'm actually growing. The first thing you need to do though is have a little look around and see what you might already have in your plot. So for example, before I even thought about going and buying flower seeds, I'll get onto that in a minute, I promise I'll get onto that in a minute. I had to think about what I already had growing in the plot. So think about perennials that I've already got there. So for example, I've got my Shasta daisies. Beautiful. Once they start growing, they're absolutely gorgeous. Brilliant cut flower as well. I've got geum dotted around everywhere. Beautiful again, but comes earlier in the season. That'll be May, June. That's flowering. What else have I got? The dahlias. The dahlias. That's also another reason I'm growing flowers this year, because I've sort of fallen in love with them and I've got a few on order. The dahlias were spectacular last year. And so yeah, I'm going to be upping my game there a little bit. Cosmos, I haven't got, they're not perennial, but I am certainly going to grow more of those this year, because they just flower for such a long period of time and they bring so much joy, not just to me, but to the buzzing insects all around. They're absolutely beautiful. So just thinking about what I've already grown and what I might already have going. Oh, calendula as well. They've self-seeded everywhere. I don't have to reseed them. They're already, you know, even now they're showing their little... That's my phone. 1 second. That sparked up a certain series of events. Let's just say apparently my national insurance number is being compromised somewhere on the northern border of Wales. Then I tripped over the tripod, knocked the battery out of the camera, and I just gave up for a few minutes and went and had some cheese on toast. But I'm back and I can't remember what I was talking about. Calendula, we were looking at what we might already have in. Okay, so we've got things like our perennials, but we've also got things that may have self-seeded, so like the calendula. But aside from plants that you've already got in, what about seeds that you've saved from last year? So scabious, which is just beautiful. Let's see if I've still got it. Can you see that from there? If I do that, it's a brilliant filler. Absolutely gorgeous. Does need sowing each year, but saves seeds. Sunflower saves seeds. Calendula, going back to it. Yeah, I've got all those saved seeds there. Like I say, it's already growing this year. It has seeded itself, and even though it's early March, there's still, you can see the little two little seed leaves coming up along the borders where it was. I mean, it'll probably end up like a weed and we won't be able to get rid of it, but things you've already got in, you saved seeds. Seeds that I sowed, oh, bit of a tongue twister. Seeds that I sowed last year and didn't use the whole packet. So these are from Sarah Raven. I don't usually get from Sarah Raven, she's very posh, but beautiful seeds. Scabious, I've mentioned. Salvia. I mean, that is only a half hardy annual, but that provides the most beautiful, can you see, blue spikes that just go with, and there's a notification, just look lovely with any other flower. Cosmos, again, until last year, I didn't know that you could get cosmos in bright colours. I thought they were all pinks and, you know, whites and pinky striped. I didn't know you could get these. So that's a new one on me. So they'll be getting resown because, again, favourited last year, regrown them this year. Things you always seem to get on the front of magazines. I mean, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 packets there. Can I count? I think there might have been one more. There might have been 8 that came with a magazine. Now, the thing is with these, you don't get to choose what you get, but you'll certainly find at least half of them that you want to do. I mean, I didn't try this one last year, a yellow peony poppy. You know, I've said this before, I am a bit of a purist. I like my poppies to be red, my daffodils to be yellow, my tulips to be red and yellow, but I think I'm changing. I'm quite convinced by that. That's quite beautiful. Not necessarily good as a cut flower, but all these other ones. Another cosmos, look at that, how pretty is that? Apricot lemonade. What I will be growing is Sunset Boulevard, which is an evening primrose, which will be part of my medicinal herb stroke flower garden. But yeah, never grown that before, so quite excited about that. So again, seeds from front of magazines. Other seeds, don't even know where these have come from. More sunflowers. Poppy, cosmos again, look at the colours of those cosmos. And the colour of that poppy is beautiful actually. That's called Pandora. That's this one here. Gorgeous. Those, think about flowers, like I say, they're not just for cut flowers. And like I said at the beginning, if you can think of a flower that you can use for something else, brilliant. I mean, poached eggplants, brilliant. They're only little things, but they, oh, the bees absolutely love them. If you haven't grown them before, they are just beautiful. You know, they're such a strange little flower, really. They're quite glossy and they're only short, but really well worth it if you like your bees. Things like herbs that you grow for the herb. I mentioned stuff that I've already got in. I've already got things like my thyme, marjoram, sage in. Grow them not just for the herbs themselves, but for the flowers, because the flowers are beautiful. I mean, you know, if you're talking about picking flowers, all your fruit and veg are going to at some point have flowers on. Potato flowers are gorgeous. You know, imagine, use your imagination, think about putting them in a bouquet. They'd look great, no one would know. And if they did ask, I think they'd be quite surprised to hear that they were actually from a potato. Things like the fern off the asparagus. I mean, you do get those in florist shops. You pay, I don't know how much for one stalk of asparagus fern, but you've got it to hand, or you might have. So take a good look at what you've got in stock, what you've saved, what you've sort of come across via magazines, and then, and only then, go out and buy some more. And I have got a very good excuse for these. Well, actually, I'm telling myself that I haven't really. But these, how pretty are these? These are Aquilegia, Granny's bonnet, and they're called green apples. And they're white, and they have sort of got a little tinge of green about them. And they're just beautiful, and it says great for pollinators. So actually, I'm helping the planet for the grand old price of £2. So again, they're a perennial. So another thing I tell myself, it's an investment. If it works, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and I won't try it again. But with these, you get a root. That's not doing much. Oh, it is actually. Look, I'll show you. Whenever you're buying these things in shops, always have a little look. You don't want it to get too leggy, but you see, I've got a little stalk already there. So it is alive. There is life in it. So sooner rather than later, that will be potted up. I mentioned, let me check, I haven't switched. Oh, that was another thing I did before. I just switched my mic off. So I was just moving basically silently. Preferable. Dahlias, I mentioned my dahlias before, which came from this shop. I've treated myself to another one. I must admit, it's not a colour I would usually go for, but seeing how well the dahlias I planted last year from here did, I just want to do a few more. And really, that is £1.50. And that tuber there, that's how the ones I had last year started off. And when I've dug them up at the end of the season, they have at least quadrupled in size. So again, think of it as an investment. You're not just growing it one year for the sake of it and seeing how it does, you know, but you can use it year on year. And if you haven't got space, give some to your friends. I've never yet known people turn away some flower plants. And then this one I did just buy because I love the look of it. I think I must be going for a bit of a pink theme, look. Either that or they were next to each other on the shelf and I just took the two at once. Again, £2. This has got lots of green on it as well. It's got growth, which means I need to be getting it out of the plastic and getting it into some damp potting compost because I don't want it to go leggy and then give up the ghost in there. But isn't that just beautiful? For the price of a packet of the echinacea seeds, I've got a ready-made plant there. Okay, it might not have as many, but that will be fairly established when I put it in. So far, so goody. This is all I have bought this year, flower-wise. That is on the back of the fact I've got quite a lot of seeds already. But like I say, think of your flowers as an investment. So rather than buy seeds every year, your calendula, okay, if you haven't got any that have sown themselves or you've been really tidy and tidied them up and pulled them out, take the seeds. It's free. Once you've got them, you've got the seeds forever. Sunflower, free. Scabious, free. I've got all sorts of others over there. I just hope I'm going to have room, you know. I have got a bed that I am definitely going to put the dahlias in, so just for them. But I might also be putting some other stuff in there as well. Oh, I do love it though, don't you? Sweet peas, I've got a whole load of sweet peas somewhere. I wonder what tin they're in. Anyway, that's it. As I say, it was a quick chat midweek. I've given up looking at the clock now. So many different things. I've had so many interruptions. The clock has become meaningless, but let me check my list. Even if this is something I haven't said, even if you do not have much space, even if you just have a window box, and I've been there, I know what it's like, and you're itching to get so much stuff in, make the most of the space that you've got. If you've got a window box, put another one underneath it, put another one on top of it. Gather pots around on different levels. You know, you might have a space that's only as big as this table. Think about doing vertical gardening just by putting a couple of bricks out and a pot above that so that it's slightly higher than the... Do you know what I mean? Use the space that you've got, because you'll be amazed how quickly it'll establish itself and will give you and the local insect population lots of joy. Okay, I will go now. I promise. I hope it's not too long. I hope you've enjoyed it. It has been a bit of a ramble as ever, but I did want to share with you what I was doing. At the weekend, I'm going to be back up at the plot and I'm going to be pruning just in time my soft fruit, and also, no, I'm not going to mention it just yet, but we have got something coming up that's going to be quite exciting, but I'm being very good. I am keeping stum for now. So for now, I'm going to go. As ever, all the links down below: Facebook, Instagram, email, etc, etc. And I think the sun's actually come out now, so I might actually get out there and play. Okay, I'll see you all again very soon. Bye for now.